Bakushi the stars. That's not what we're here for, though. Today, I just watched. In fact, actually, the Shanghai Grand Prix is not even over yet. But I think we gotta. I think we can just start the reviews right now. Well, this is looking pretty much done. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it looks pretty done. Pros and cons. This is what we're going to do. Pros. New F1. Colon. Pros and cons. Alright. Because I think there are good things. I know that there are good things. I have not mapped this out. I'm interested to see how many pros we get and how many cons we get. Let's start with the pros. I don't know how... Some of these are going to be pretty, broad. The cars look good. The smaller, lighter cars is apparent. It's obvious. Smaller and lighter is making a clear impact. A clear difference, at least to the visuals, right? Okay, I have no idea how much of a difference it's actually making. How much. But for the visuals, it's making a lot. And when I was told, I thought it wouldn't make that much difference. I thought, because they said it was only 10 centimeters. They made them 10 centimeters shorter. I thought that was small. I thought 10 centimeters was not very big, man. I was 10 centimeters? 30 pounds? What do you mean? That's not going to be... I was wrong. They look great. They look responsive. The cars from the previous regulations looked like tanks. They were ginormo, dude. It was crazy looking. And I look at these ones and they're still big, but they're they look reasonable now. They look like actual race cars now, not tanks. They're not tanks. They ain't tanks no more, man. They ain't tanks no more. They're fighting and moving and jostling and being dexterous. Dexterous. We're gonna write the word dexterous because that's what I'm seeing now. It's not the most dexterous racing I've ever seen in my whole life. But it's pretty close. And you can tell how good these guys are. My bad. Guys' eye. You can see more that they're professionals. Before it was just who can follow the beeps. I don't know what the previous regulations, how I would describe them. This is a racing sport now. Now, let's do a con. I'm just gonna throw. I'm not gonna do this in order. Here's a con. Mercedes gimmicked their way to a championship. Those are both supposed to be ends. Gimmicked their way, and I'm writing it down. I mean this opinion to a championship. I'm going to spell it that way too. Championship. Their engine, it's the most F1 thing of all time. I'm not going to get into too many details, but basically, the engine has to work a certain way. Right? Let's say, I'm just going to use this. It has 10 pounds of pressure in this part of the engine. You can maximum have 10 pounds of pressure available here at this part. And then Mercedes looks, they like sneak into the fine print. And they're like, wait a minute, look at this. They only test how much pressure that part of the engine can hold when the engine is at room temperature. Interesting. So we're going to design it so that when the engine gets hot, which it's going to do because it's an engine, the engine is going to like morph or whatever, and it's going to have 15 pounds of pressure it can do. So we are cheating, but the FIA put themselves into a corner, and they can't test whether you're cheating or not unless the car is at room temperature, in which case it is not cheating. You know? It's like light. As soon as you look at it, it goes back. And that is the most F1. Like, if I'm thinking about it, like, actually, a technological gimmick, winning a championship is classic F1. It's like the most F1 thing of my era. And of my era is like the last 3 years, 4 years. But I'm going to write it as of my era. Like, it's the most F1 thing. Like, I've seen, like, racing stuff, like people getting mad at each other, or some guy winning a bunch. But, like, I haven't seen this of the modern day. If you go back and you watch old F1, this is what this looks like, by the way. I'm looking at the Shanghai Grand Prix. It is on lap 52 of 56. I'm looking at what it looks like. And it looks exactly like 1980s F1. There are... How many cars is this? 7 cars out. 7 retirements from the race. One guy's car, one team, their engine didn't even work. That's so 1980s. People are spinning out on their own. That's so 1980s. That shit wasn't happening before. This is a very 1980s. So, if it's the most F1 thing, does that make it a good thing? I put it under here as cons. But is it actually a pro? I'm thinking about it right now. I didn't think about this beforehand. It is the most F1 thing. Mercedes is just like... Oh my god, you watch some 1980s thing and it's like they're talking about how this team and this team have the turbo engines. It's like, oh, this year Renault has the turbo engines. Oh, but this team has they have a special gearbox this year. And they just dominate or whatever. That's F1 as fuck. So, you know what? I'm going to leave that unknown. This is an unknown. It's not a pro yet. It's an unknown. We have one pro and one unknown. What's next? What's next? What's next? Is there anything else? What are other things we can think of from the race that are important to think of? Maybe those will lead us to pros and cons. Ferrari knows how to start a car. I think that even if that doesn't turn out to be a pro or a con, I think it needs to be written. Ferrari knows how to start a car. And the other guys don't. That's what it's like. I think Ferrari has the best car. I think if I was the head of the FIA, I'd give Mercedes the trophy and everything, and then I would turn to Ferrari and I would publicly be like, yeah, but you guys had the best car. That's what I would do. They won the championship because, they were smarter than everybody else. They thought of something that nobody else thought of. Props. That's F1 for you. So they did win, and we're never going to disrespect that ever, 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 no matter what. But as soon as it's in the record books, it's sacred to my... Sorry, I almost got carried away there. Anyway, but Ferrari has the best car. We like Ferrari the best. Okay, here's a pro for me. Pro. Ferrari is actually, and I really think this is true, and I think it's pretty clear, coming out on top. The first like 15 laps are exciting because of Ferrari, it feels like. Mercedes is just trying to get away from the pack, and then Ferrari is like our only hope. They just are really fast at the beginning, and so they get to fight those guys. The Alpines, the McLarens, they're sitting back there being like, dang, I wish we could fight up there with Mercedes like Ferrari can. Clearly, Mercedes is still in that tier on its own, but at least Ferrari gets to go out there. So Ferrari is the hero. They're the heroes, man. They're the source of our fun. And then, even after the beginning, especially after the beginning, I'm going to put that, especially after the beginning. I think I spelled that wrong, but... You can give Mercedes half the credit if you want for being exciting at the beginning. And then hopefully this Haas versus Alpine thing will be all season long. Hopefully that's all season long, because that would be hype. I feel like all the back stuff is going to be hype this year. The midfield is cool. Maybe. There's a lot of backfield, dude. Neither Williams, the Williams and the McLaren and the Cadillac and the Aston Martin cars are all undrivable. I don't know what the heck is happening. Is that a con? We can put that as a con. But to finish this off, they're like 60% of the broadcast is Ferraris. If I'm a Ferrari executive, this is like secretly better than I could have hoped for. Like if we were winning everything, that'd be great and all, but we can be we can be the stars of the show. Once Mercedes checks out, we just get some like really good, clean, elegant racing from Leclerc and Hamilton. They'll just fight each other for a little bit, and then one of them will win. And they're both really good, and they're both they can both drive gentle. They're not like Verstappen trying to pass a teammate. They can both just be like, okay, we'll put this in pro for sure. Pro. I think we can point at these two guys having fun. Leclerc, and I think even if we say only these two guys are having fun, that is a clear pro for, I'm putting it on the list. Leclerc, I don't know how to spell his name. Is there another C in there? And Hamilton, and to a lesser extent Russell, but for Russell it's more because he can just say he's winning. Like, we can all just be like, well, yeah, you're getting first place. You're going to love everything about what's going on right now. So I'm going to not care about him. But Leclerc and Hamilton are happy. Hamilton was like the most depressed guy last year. And Leclerc is a classically, like, unsatisfied guy. But here he is, he's literally saying over the radio that he's having a fun time. I've never heard. I think Alonso at Bahrain, when he first went to Aston Martin, was was like the only time I've ever heard a racer be like, "Woohoo! This is great! I'm having a great time." And here is at F1, the most miserable place in existence. Formula One. It's the most miserable sport I've ever seen. Okay, and I watch sumo. Makushi to stars. Don't forget. Don't forget. Nobihara from Cutie Clan. From the Cutie Clan. And F1 is more miserable than sumo. And Leclerc and Hamilton are happy. That's a pro. I'm putting that on the pro list. And this is a pro if you're a Ferrari person, obviously. I gotta say one last thing before I'm done here. Well, let's actually put this under cons. Actually, you know what? This is a con. This is a con. This is a con. I thought of a con. Con. Championship. Decided already. It's already decided. That's a clear-cut con, right? We can say that that's a con. We can say that's a clear con. I already know who won. Now, that is a very F1 thing. But, I mean, even last year we had it was tight. But fuck last year. Anything's better than last regulations. This is a con, right? I mean, every race is going to be the same thing. Well, the FIA said halfway through the season they might actually stop Mercedes from doing what they're doing. We'll give you half a season because you're so smart. But then we are a sport. We are going to stop that. So we'll see what happens after that. But until we get to there, Mercedes is going to win every race. And Ferrari is going to fight them at the beginning of every race. That's going to be every race. Every race is going to be the Mercedes probably on pole and the Ferraris behind, but they get a better start, so they get to lead for a little bit. That's going to be every race. I'm looking at this, and it's been identical for 2 races and a sprint race. Ferrari knows how to start a car, but Mercedes is just, they've got the engine thing. So this is a con. We got one con. So we got 3 cons. 3 pros, 1 unknown, and a con. Here's a con. Here's a con. Here's a big con for me. I have to witness Sergio Perez footage. Sergio Perez footage. I have to see that. That's a big old con. That's a huge con. That's a con. Alright, so Perez, let's review Perez's Shanghai. On the opening lap, at the opening corner, he dive bombs his teammate. On the opening lap in the opening corner, like it's 2 lanes. He's in the back. It's 2 lanes, Sergio. And he dive bombs the inside. And hits his teammate. And puts himself in last. Now, here's what happened to me. I was just watching it and they said that they said yellow flag in Sector 1, Perez got into a thing. I said, yeah, that guy sucks. And then they showed the thing, and it was him hitting his own teammate. On the what is that dive bomb? He's playing bumper cars, and he doesn't know that the brake button exists, bro. He's just like, we're gonna have a big bump. It's bumper cars, bro. My car will just squish into this corner and then we'll all live. That's his dumbass. And I have to see that. Which is a con. That's a con. That's bad. Sorry for the Sergio Perez hate. But then he also hit Alonso. I think he hit Alonso. Which is, you know, hilarious. So, how many is that? That's 2 cons then? 3 pros? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? There's a lot of it, but that doesn't have anything to do with the regulations, right? Mazda MX-5 is my favorite racing series right now, and I don't get another race until June, babe. Fucking June, babe. Oh, and the last 2 races were so good. Can you believe that? June I have to wait till for another race. F1, they're probably going to race tomorrow, dude. Alright, that's it. That's my review of Shanghai.